Hey guys, Dennis here, Muddy Water Search and Recovery. This is episode 3 of our mini series on the Randy Leach case. And this one we're going to cover a couple different topics. Mostly we want to cover some interviews, that sort of thing. And we've had a lot of you reach out to us with questions and comments about the interview that Leanne done with Adventures with Purpose. If you have not seen that episode, please look them up on YouTube and watch that interview. And I want to kind of go over what we took away from this interview. The one thing that I do want to stress, it had been 32, 33 years after Randy's disappearance that this interview took place. With all of the speculation, the rumors, the theories, everything over the years, I want to start by saying it's going to be hard for the truth to remain pure in that environment for so long. You know, if you hear a lie so many times, eventually the lie becomes a truth, basically. And I'm not trying to insinuate that Leanne may have lied or she may have gotten things wrong. I don't want to do that, but I just want everybody to be aware, this had been a long period of time. So with just the time alone, you got to give some leeway for some things to be off a little bit. And usually in those situations, that's not on purpose and not intentional. I know it's come to my attention from many of you, as well as things that I have seen in relation to this, to where things that were said in this interview differ from things said as early as a day or two later after the interview in comments on social media, on YouTube channels, etc. But again, I just want to go over what we took away from the interview without fully getting deep into anything that I don't feel was honest or right or complete, or that was changed. We might mention a couple things that were changed, but the focus of this is to just go into what we took away from the interview. And in this interview, we found that Leanne may have been the last known person to have seen Randy alive. We found out that the pre-graduation party was actually announced the week of the party. This isn't something that had been going around and in the plans and in the works for weeks or months. This was actually announced the week of the party. We've all seen that there was alcohol served at the party, mixed in drinks that Irwin, the property owner, was selling to the kids, and according to Leanne, those drinks was mixed with vodka. We found that 25 to 28 out of the 33 Linwood graduates were present at the party. She said it was not normal for Randy to stay at a party, and that Randy always asked for a soda. He would occasionally drink one beer, and we have heard from numerous sources that typically he would take one beer and he would sip on it while he was there, and it'd be the same beer, but it gives the impression that he was drinking with everybody else. But according to Leanne, he usually would ask for a soda instead of a beer. She said there was people who was smoking weed at the party. I do have some stuff in here that we're not quite ready to share, possibly in the next episode, but not at the moment. She did say that the kids from Kansas City would smoke weed that the Linwood kids had. But when the Linwood kids would start running low on weed, Kansas City kids would not return the favor. They would not share with the Linwood kids. And so tensions did start rising due to that. She said most of the Linwood graduating class left early. She said that she arrived to the party location around 6 o'clock that evening to help get things set up. She said at 9:30 to 10 o'clock, older classes started showing up, as well as the kids from Kansas City. And she says by midnight, a lot of the people had left. At 1:30, she was heading out to her car to leave herself when she says that she's found Randy out there. And while a lot of people have said he appeared drunk, she said that he appeared like he was roofied, something along those lines. So she set Randy down in her vehicle, locked the doors, went back into the house to go to the bathroom. And when she come back out to take Randy home, Randy was no longer in the vehicle. Okay, I'm going to have to stop here for a minute, because this one kind of throws me, because she had already went around, she said goodbyes, she was in the house saying goodbye, she walked out to her vehicle, seen Randy, he didn't have his keys, she put him in the car, going to take him home, but all of a sudden had to go to the bathroom, so she goes back in to go to the bathroom. And when she come out, Randy was gone. And yet we have reports that later on, Annie Irwin actually reported seeing Randy waiting in line to use the restroom, I believe around 1:30 a.m. that morning. But that was just something that didn't really sit with me as far as... But I said I wasn't going to do a lot of that, so I won't go into a lot of detail on that. But that was one that kind of flagged me. She is a medical professional, and looking back on it, she believes it was not alcohol. Seemed roofied or LSD, something along those lines. He was barely able to stand, slurred speech, and he couldn't find his keys and had bad motor skills. And she did check his pockets, and he did not have his keys with him. She put Randy in her car, locked it, and went to the bathroom. She was gone approximately 15 minutes. When she returned, Randy was gone. She did say cocaine was in the house and was under control of the adults at the party, and that some of the kids may have used it. And she did not know where Randy had parked. And Teresa had just started dating Randy. And there's reports from Teresa that she wasn't dating Randy. She saw him more as a brother type. And other people have reported that they felt they were indeed starting to date. She said that Randy may have been trying to get Teresa out of the drug scene. She said Randy's not the type of person that would give in to peer pressure, and that he would not drink more than one beer. The bridge at Stranger, and this would have been Golden Road, where the bridge had been taken down, not far from the railroad bridge. That was a local party spot. She said when she left Randy in her vehicle and went in to use the bathroom, when she come out, she had locked the doors before she went in, but when she come out and Randy was gone, the passenger door was unlocked. And as far as the altercations at the party, she said there was verbal altercations. She did not see any physical altercations, and she did not believe that Randy had a confrontation at the party. She spent approximately 45 minutes at the party location after coming out and finding him gone. She spent approximately 45 minutes looking around for Randy. She did confirm he usually drove the truck. Very rare to drive his mom's car. He was afraid he would mess it up, and he did not want to mess up his mama's car, so he would usually drive the truck. She said she drove another 45 minutes driving around looking for him after she left the party. She said Golden Road would have been the most likely route he would have taken home. Others were at a party at the bridge after leaving the graduation party, meaning the bridge going over Stranger Creek. She did report that she went there and she did not see Randy or a vehicle there. And she said she was close to Randy from the first time meeting him, but they never dated or anything like that. She had almost a 2-year friendship with Randy. And she said she got home at 3:03 a.m. She said when she walked through the door, she looked over at the clock and it said 3:03. And Harold come around 9:30 a.m. looking for Randy because Randy had not showed up. Her boyfriend at the time lived on the same road that the party took place. Her feelings were this was not an accident and that some of the locals and some of those from the surrounding areas were involved. She said there were older people at the party who were stoners who didn't want nothing really to do with jocks or cheerleaders or basically the kids that were there at the party. She said there was talk prior to the party about his girlfriend and drugs, and if Randy didn't leave her alone, something would happen to him. She said that this is a rumor, but something did happen to him. She believes that 3 people were involved in the murder, and there were more people who helped to hide it. And the areas of interest she has would be Eudora, DeSoto, Edwardsville, Linwood are the Bonner Springs areas. And she said she saw Kim, this would be the day after the party, Kim Irwin, and asked her what was going on. And she said Kim started crying and just walked away. She believes the Irwins left the area because they felt guilty in how people were treating them after Randy's disappearance. She mentioned that she believed the Irwins' house catching on fire, being put out, catching on fire again later that night and burning. She believes that that was intentional for insurance money. And she said there was nothing that happened in the house that night as far as the murder, etc. The small kids in the early teens were in the house that night, and they were staying in the bedrooms. She did confirm that nobody searched in the house. I believe later she said she did, or she had been all through and she did not see any evidence of anything. An eyewitness said that the basement looked completely normal. The floor wasn't ripped up, nothing like that. An investigator said that Miss Irwin would not let people search the house. Harold was alive and present during this interview. Harold passed away, I believe it was January 28th of 2021. Leanne admitted to carrying a lot of guilt over Randy's disappearance and everything that happened that night. And she believes local people and people from surrounding areas know what happened to Randy Leach. Now, as I stated at the beginning of this, I know there is a lot of people reaching out to me and showing me messages where Leanne has made comments that contradict what she said in this interview. And so I have to look at this as looking at the time frame, how much time has passed. Obviously, it's not, even to the people that was at the party, obviously, realistically, this is not going to be fresh in their minds. I mean, we're going on 34 years at this point. So it's not going to be fresh in their mind. When you have somebody talking to you about the case and you were there, yes, in your mind, you're going to go back to those days. You're going to try to basically relive that day and share what you're experiencing. After 34 years, after all the theories and stuff that is out there on this case, it's not going to be fresh on anybody's mind. So if something is said today and tomorrow it changes, to me that's not 100% sign that somebody told a lie. That is, it's possible it was a lie, but it's possible that something clicked and no, that wasn't right. This is what happened, just because of the time that has gone by. So I want us all to be mindful of that. I do have my theories on what was going on with the interview and the comments, etc. And I may get into that at a later date, but I don't think right now is the time for me to get into my theories on this particular thing. I know the last episode we do of this mini-series on Randy Leach, I believe I will go ahead and get into my personal theories on this. Basically just to run those by you and get your thoughts and opinions on that. And again, if you have a theory on this case, especially one that you haven't heard before, please get a hold of me and let me know what your theory is. And again, we are lining up our search locations to get back out there on the ground searching for Randy. If you have a location you want us to search, please get that out to me. Last night, I did order a new sonar unit. That will be in by Tuesday. I'm just ready to be out there trying to find Randy. Hopefully, this is the year that Randy is found. Alberta gets those answers. She's able to lay her son to rest. My thoughts and prayers do go out to her. Megan and I, early on into this, I guess it would have been August, somewhere around July or August. I think it might have been sooner than that even, but I wrote a letter to Alberta and basically told her who we were and left it up to her if they decided to reach out to us or not. And she did end up reaching out to us, as did Betty. And they ended up setting up a time with us where Megan and I got to go out to the Leach residence. And we got to meet Alberta, Betty, and Larry. And I've said this so many times, and I stand by this. One of the sweetest people you will ever meet, Alberta Leach. The love that you feel in her home is unmatched. And it's You feel comfortable, you feel welcome there, and just absolute sweet person. And to the point, when we met her, it was instantly heartbreaking because it's how somebody so sweet going through so much. And, sitting there and talking with them, we did talk some scenarios, some what ifs, some theories. We did search some locations. Some of those locations we had been out and searched. Some of them we will be going to. And it was just humbling. It was heartbreaking. And it was such an honor to sit there with Alberta. And I don't really know how to explain all of this. But from the minute she opened her door, it felt like we knew her. And just absolute sweet, wonderful person. So our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to her. We are going to continue to do everything that we can to help bring Randy back home. And please be sending your thoughts and prayers out to her as well. We will be doing at least one more episode in the coming days. And then we will be doing a final episode that, let me know in the comments, the final episode where we go over all of our theories on this, because we would like your opinions on that. Let me know in the comments if you want us to do it as a video or if you want us to do that as a live feed so we could interact throughout that episode. So let me know which way you would like that to go, and whichever the majority says, that's the route we will go with that. So with that, we will have the next episode coming out in the next few days. And until next time, you guys stay safe. Let's all do everything we can and continue doing everything we can to help bring Randy back home. You guys take care.